Hey, this is Attorney Anderson. It's about 2 p.m. on January 17th. This video is likely going to be out of date pretty quickly, but I did want to give you all an update. So, as you know, the governor issued a ban on firearms on the Capitol grounds. The VCDL and Gun Owners of America and a few other people filed an injunction request yesterday in Richmond, and that was denied. And so they have appealed to the Virginia Supreme Court on an emergency basis, and that is pending before the Virginia Supreme Court. Now, keep a couple of just logistical things in mind. One, today is a state holiday. Courts are closed. And so whether the Supreme Court is going to even hear this case today or not, or talk about this case or decide on this, is going to depend upon whether they're going to work on a vacation day. Secondly, certainly the courts on an emergency basis can work any day of the week. They can work on a Saturday or a Sunday. Those things can happen. So it is possible that the Supreme Court may intervene and take a look at this and decide if the case warrants an emergency hearing. And if they do, then maybe they'll do something. As of right now, at 2 o'clock, they have not. Now, I will tell you that the Attorney General did file a very comprehensive brief in opposition. And I suspect that the lawyers that were working on this probably worked through the night, because it's about 30 pages long. And it is full of lots of case law and lots of legal analysis. That was filed around 10:30 this morning, and it was emailed to the clerk of the Supreme Court by the Attorney General because the courts are closed. And so the clerk of court has filed it, and that's where we are. Now, three things could happen here. One, the Supreme Court could just say, hey, we're closed, and we're going to not deal with this until Tuesday, which it won't matter by then because obviously lobby day will be over. Two, the Supreme Court could intervene and ban the governor's order. Or three, the Supreme Court could intervene and say, we're not going to ban the governor's order for the following reasons. So those are the three outcomes, and I guess we're just going to wait and see if the Supreme Court responds. But as it is, as of right now, unless the Supreme Court definitively steps aside the governor's order, it is not going to change the outcome unless the Supreme Court of Virginia deals with that. Now, let me say one final thing here. Y'all have been asking about this 2012 rule and the Senate Bill 20 and all of that. The governor has other authorities that exist that are inherent in the Constitution and also pursuant to previous executive orders that he's relying on to be able to exercise this ban. So the Richmond Circuit Court sidestepped any of the legal analysis here, and on that Senate Bill 20 2012 thing, all that's been sidestepped because of the other authority the governor has. So anyway, the Attorney General's brief is here. If you are interested, especially if you're a lawyer, it is pretty fascinating and interesting to read. I'm not saying I agree with it, but it is interesting how they've put together their case. There is no brief that I'm aware of that the VCDL has filed other than the initial complaint, which you all have seen that's on there. So it's basically the VCDL's complaint and now the written 29-page brief by the Attorney General. That's what's before the Supreme Court, and so we will see if they decide to do anything. Obviously, if they don't do anything because they're closed, then by when Monday's going to come and go and Tuesday before they open, all this is going to be moot. But that's where we are, and I'll let you know more if I hear anything from the Virginia Supreme Court. If I don't, or if I don't put anything out there, then the ban stays in place. And you're not going to be able to have firearms on the grounds, all right, or weapons. So that includes even baseballs, believe it or not. It's crazy. But you can't even have baseballs or softballs. All right, well, hope that helps. I'll let you know if I hear anything else.